The night was quiet on the spaceship UNSC Dauntless. Most of the crew slept as the ship orbited Kepler-22b, a planet they had been studying for 3 months. Then, without warning, a strange signal cut through the silence. Lieutenant June Park woke up with a jolt. The small device attached to his temple was flashing. It was picking up something unusual. June sat up in bed, rubbing his eyes. The signal felt different from anything he had ever sensed before. It wasn't just data, it felt like pain. "Lieutenant Park to the bridge," Captain Hannah Kim's voice came through the speakers. "We need you here now." June quickly put on his uniform and hurried through the ship's corridors. The metal floors echoed with his footsteps as he made his way to the bridge. When the doors slid open, he saw the entire night crew gathered around the main display table. "What's happening?" June asked, joining the circle. Captain Hannah pointed to the glowing 3D map hovering above the table. "This signal started broadcasting 40 minutes ago. It's coming from the valley in Zone 7. The map showed a deep valley surrounded by tall mountains. A pulsing red dot marked the source of the signal. Above the map, waves of sound moved in strange patterns, rising and falling like a flying creature. We're calling it the dragon because of how the signal looks," explained Hannah. Her face was serious in the blue light of the display. But that's not the strangest part. She pressed a button and new information appeared. The ship's computer had analyzed the signal and found something unexpected: emotions. The data showed clear signs of distress, fear, and sadness. "The signal is asking for help," said Science Officer Daly. He adjusted his glasses and pointed to the readings. "Whatever is sending this message is in trouble." June studied the map more closely. "Zone 7. Isn't that where we found those strange crystal formations last week?" They nodded. "Yes, we marked it for further study, but we haven't had time to go back." "Well, something is there now," said Hannah. "And it's suffering." The bridge fell silent as the signal continued to pulse. It was unlike any communication they had received before. Most distress calls were simple, automated messages. This was complex, layered, and somehow alive. "Could it be another human ship?" asked June. "Maybe miners or explorers in trouble?" Day shook his head. "No human technology makes signals like this. And we're supposed to be the only expedition on this planet." "Whatever it is," Hannah said, her voice firm, "we need to check it out. June, I want you to lead a team down to the surface. Take Medic Sue, Xenobiologist Tay, and Security Specialist Jin with you." June nodded. "When do we leave?" "As soon as possible. The signal is getting weaker. I think whatever is sending it is dying." 2 hours later, June and his team were suited up and ready in the ship's hangar. Their dropship was a small, sturdy craft designed for planetary exploration. Its silver hull gleamed under the hangar lights. Medic Sue Kim checked her medical kit one last time. "I've packed everything I could think of, but I have no idea what we're going to find down there." Beside her, Xenobiologist Tae Yoon could barely contain her excitement. "If this is a non-human intelligence, it would be the first contact in human history." "Can you imagine?" Security Specialist Jin Kwan was more cautious. He checked his non-lethal weapons and restraint equipment. Or it could be a trap. Or just some broken mining equipment sending out weird signals. "Either way, we need to be prepared," said June. "First contact protocols are in effect. We observe, we help if we can, but we don't interfere more than necessary." The team boarded the dropship and June took the pilot's seat. The hangar doors opened, revealing the vast darkness of space and the curved surface of Kepler-22b below them. The planet was mostly blue and green, similar to Earth, but with different continents and larger oceans. "Dauntless, this is Dropship 1, June said into his communicator. "We are ready for launch." "Dropship 1, you're clear to go," Captain Hannah's voice replied. "Be careful down there. We'll be monitoring your progress." The dropship detached from the Dauntless and began its descent toward the planet. As they entered the atmosphere, the ship shook and the windows glowed orange from the heat. June kept his hands steady on the controls, guiding them through the turbulence. When they broke through the cloud layer, the landscape of Kepler-22b spread out below them. It was early morning in this part of the planet. The rising sun cast long shadows across the mountains and valleys. Zone 7 was visible ahead, a deep valley surrounded by jagged peaks. "The signal is getting stronger," said Tay, watching her instruments. "And more complex. It's almost like it knows we're coming." As they flew closer to the valley, they began to see the crystal formations. They weren't just rocks, they were huge structures that caught the sunlight and broke it into thousands of rainbow patterns across the landscape. Some were as tall as buildings, reaching up from the valley floor like giant fingers. "Those aren't natural," whispered Sue. "They're too regular. Too perfect." The dropship's sensors began to pick up more details. The entire valley seemed to be vibrating with the same frequency as the distress signal. It wasn't just coming from one spot, the whole area was amplifying it like a giant speaker. There, Jin pointed to a dark opening in the side of the valley. "That looks like a cave entrance. The signal is strongest there." June carefully guided the ship down to a flat area near the cave. As they landed, the ground beneath them hummed with energy. The air itself seemed to shimmer with purpose. "Everyone stay alert," June said as they prepared to exit the ship. "We don't know what we're dealing with." The team put on their helmets and checked their oxygen levels. Kepler-22b had breathable air, but protocol required full suits for first explorations. One by one, they stepped out onto the surface of the alien world. The moment June's boot touched the ground, the signal changed. It became more focused, more urgent. Through his neural interface, he could almost feel it calling to him personally. "It knows we're here," he said quietly. "And it's waiting for us." The team stood at the mouth of the cave, their suits gleaming in the morning light of Kepler-22b. The crystal formations around them caught the sunlight and scattered it in beautiful patterns across the ground. But beauty wasn't why they were here. The distress signal pulsed stronger now, pulling them forward like an invisible hand. "Everyone stay close," June said, activating the light on his helmet. "Tay, keep tracking that signal. Jin, watch our backs. Sue, be ready with medical equipment." They stepped into the cave and the world changed. Outside was bright morning, but inside was a soft blue glow that seemed to come from the walls themselves. The crystals here were smaller but more numerous. They lined the walls like stars in the night sky. "These crystals are giving off light," Tay said, scanning them with her device. "They're not just rocks. They alive." Jin looked nervous. "Alive? Like plants?" "More complex than plants," Tay replied. Her eyes were wide behind her helmet visor. "They have internal structures similar to cells. They're responding to our presence. Look." She pointed to the wall where the crystals were slowly changing color, shifting from blue to a soft purple as the team passed by. "The signal is getting stronger," June said. He could feel it through his neural interface, a steady pulse that matched the glow of the crystals. "It's coming from deeper in the cave." They walked for 10 minutes, following a tunnel that sloped gently downward. The passage was smooth as if something had carved it out long ago. The ceiling grew higher and the tunnel wider until they could walk side by side comfortably. "Does anyone else feel like we're being watched?" Sue asked, looking around nervously. Jin nodded. "Since we entered. But my scanners don't show any life forms except the crystals." "Maybe the crystals are watching us," Tay suggested. "They seem to react to our movement." The tunnel suddenly opened into a vast chamber that took their breath away. It was huge, at least 100 meters across, with a ceiling so high their lights couldn't reach it. The entire space was filled with crystal formations of all sizes. Some were as small as fingers, others as large as trees. All of them glowed with inner light, pulsing in rhythm with the distress signal. "It's beautiful," Sue whispered. But June was looking at something else. At the center of the chamber, lying on a raised platform of crystal, was a creature unlike anything they had ever seen. It was massive, nearly 30 meters long from head to tail. Its body resembled a dragon from Earth's old stories, but it was made entirely of the same crystal material that filled the cave. Its wings, partially spread out, sparkled with 1,000 points of light. Its long neck curved gracefully, and its head was turned toward them, watching with eyes that glowed like twin moons. But the creature was damaged. Deep cracks ran across its body, and the glowing blue liquid leaked from the wounds, pooling on the crystal platform beneath it. "It's hurt," Sue said, already reaching for her medical scanner. "It's the source of the signal," Tay confirmed, checking her device. This is what's been calling for help. The dragon's eyes fixed on them, and suddenly the signal changed. Instead of just feeling it through his neural interface, June began to see images in his mind. He saw a ship, not human in design, crashing into the valley. He saw people in suits different from theirs, mining the crystals and taking them away. He saw the dragon, wounded, trying to protect something. Are you all seeing this? June asked, his voice hushed. The others nodded, their faces pale in the glow of their helmet lights. It's showing us what happened, Tay said. It's communicating directly with our minds. The images continued. The dragon showed them more of the miners, cutting away at the crystal formations without care. Then it showed them what the miners were really taking eggs. Crystal eggs that pulsed with the same inner light as the dragon itself. They were stealing its babies, Sue said, her voice breaking with emotion. The dragon's mental images shifted again, showing them what lay behind its massive body. There, nestled in a depression in the crystal platform, were 3 large eggs. They glowed brighter than the surrounding crystals, pulsing with life. It's protecting the last of its eggs, Jin said. It was injured trying to stop the miners. June took a careful step forward. The dragon watched him but didn't move. It seemed too weak to see him as a threat, or perhaps it understood they weren't like the miners who had hurt it. Can we help it? June asked, turning to Sue. The medic was already scanning the dragon with her equipment. Its biology is completely different from anything I've studied. These wounds are deep, and it's losing a lot of fluid. I think that's his blood. But I don't know how to treat a crystal-based life form. Tay joined her, examining her own readings. The structure is silicon-based, not carbon like Earth life. But it has systems similar to our organs. Look here, this might be like a heart, pumping the fluid throughout its body. The dragon's eyes never left them as they worked. It sent another image to their minds, the eggs, growing dimmer as the dragon grew weaker. The message was clear. If the dragon died, the eggs might die too. We need to help it, June decided. Sue, do whatever you can. Tay, keep studying its biology. Jin, secure the area and make sure we're safe. I'm going to contact the ship. June stepped away and activated his communicator. Dauntless, this is Lieutenant Park. We found the source of the signal. It's a living creature. A silicon-based life form, injured and protecting its young. We need guidance on how to proceed. Captain Hannah's voice came back, filled with static. Lieutenant, your transmission is breaking up. Did you say a living creature? Is it sentient? Yes, it's sentient, June replied. It's communicating with us through some kind of mental imagery. It's showing us what happened. There were miners here before us, Captain. They were harvesting crystal eggs without realizing or maybe not caring that they were alive. Miners? Hannah's voice sharpened. There shouldn't be any mining operations on Kepler-22b. The planet is under UNSC protection for scientific study only. Well, someone was here, June said. And they hurt this creature. It's dying, Captain. We need to help it. There was a pause, then Hannah's voice returned. Do what you can, Lieutenant. I'm sending a second team with more equipment. And I'm contacting UNSC Command about the unauthorized mining. This could be a serious violation of interstellar law. As June turned back to the dragon, he saw Sue attempting to seal one of the larger cracks in its body with a medical polymer. Tay was carefully examining the eggs, her face filled with wonder. Jin stood guard, his weapon lowered but ready. The dragon's eyes met June's, and a new image formed in his mind, humans and dragons working together, sharing knowledge across the stars. It wasn't just asking for help. It was offering friendship. Sue worked quickly, applying the medical polymer to the largest cracks in the dragon's crystal body. The glowing blue fluid had slowed its leaking, but the creature still looked weak. Its eyes, though bright, seemed tired as they watched the humans move around the chamber. I don't know if this is helping, Sue said, wiping sweat from her forehead. The polymer is sticking to the crystal surface, but I'm not sure if it's actually healing anything. Tay had moved closer to the eggs, scanning them carefully. These eggs are amazing. They have complex structures inside, like tiny dragons already forming. And they're connected somehow to the parent. When the parent's energy drops, the eggs dim too. Jin had completed a circuit of the chamber and returned to June's side. No other entrances that I can find. Just the tunnel we came through. But I did find something interesting. He held out his hand, showing a small metal object. It's a mining tag. Has a company logo on it. June took the tag and examined it. The logo showed a planet with a pickaxe through it. Around the edge were the words Stellar Resources Corporation. SRK, June said, his voice hard. They're one of the biggest mining companies in the galaxy. They're not supposed to be operating on protected planets. The dragon's eyes focused on the tag, and suddenly all 4 humans received a flood of images. They saw ships with the same logo landing in the valley. Workers in heavy suits cutting away at crystal formations. The dragon trying to stop them, being wounded by energy weapons. The workers taking away dozens of eggs, not caring that they were alive. They knew, Tay whispered, horror in her voice. They knew these were living creatures, not just minerals. Look. The images showed a worker scanning an egg, seeing the life signs, then continuing to harvest it anyway. The dragon's memory showed the workers taking away nearly 50 eggs before it managed to hide the last 3. This is genocide, Jin said, his hand tightening on his weapon. They were wiping out an entire species for profit. The dragon sent another image itself, alone in the vast chamber, the last of its kind. The feeling of loneliness that came with the image was overwhelming. June felt tears in his eyes. You're not alone anymore, he said to the dragon, stepping closer. We're going to help you. As if in response to his words, the dragon's body shifted slightly. It moved its long neck, bringing its head closer to June, its eyes, multifaceted like a dragonfly's but much larger, studied him with intelligence that felt ancient and wise. A new series of images flowed into their minds. The dragon showed them its species, once numerous across the planet. Hundreds of crystal dragons flying through the skies, building vast cities of living crystal, studding the stars. Then it showed ships arriving, not just SRC but others before them. Centuries of humans and other aliens coming to the planet, taking what they wanted, leaving destruction behind. They've been hiding, Tay realized. For hundreds of years, they've been hiding from us. From all spacefaring species. And now there's only one left, Sue said sadly. The dragon's head moved again, this time toward its eggs. It sent an image of the eggs hatching, of new dragons growing, of hope for the future. But the image was tinged with doubt and fear. It doesn't think it will survive to see its children hatch, June said. It's asking us to protect them. Before anyone could respond, June's communicator crackled to life. Lieutenant Park, this is Captain Hannah. The second team is on its way down. ETA 20 minutes. What's your status? We're still with the creature, Captain, June replied. It's a silicon-based life form that resembles a dragon. It's intelligent and communicating with us through mental images. It's shown us that Stellar Resources Corporation has been illegally mining on this planet and harvesting crystal dragon eggs. Cersei. Hannah's voice was sharp with surprise. Are you certain? Positive. We found one of their tags. And the dragon's memories are clear. There was a pause before Hannah spoke again. This is worse than I thought. SRC has powerful friends in the government. They'll try to cover this up. We need evidence. We have the tag, June said. And we can record the dragon's mental communications. Do it, Hannah ordered. Document everything. The second team is bringing specialized equipment that might help communicate better with the creature and treat its wounds. As June lowered his communicator, he noticed the dragon watching him intently. It had been listening, perhaps even understanding their conversation. It sent another image: humans in UNSC uniforms standing protectively around the eggs, facing off against workers in SRC suits. It understands we're going to help, June told the others. It's trusting us. Tay had moved back to the eggs and was setting up a portable scanner. These eggs are fascinating. They seem to be absorbing energy from the surrounding crystals. It's like they're part of a larger network. Sue continued applying polymer to the dragon's wounds. Some of the smaller cracks are starting to heal. The crystal actually seems to be growing back very slowly. If we can keep it stable long enough, it might recover. Jin had set up a perimeter of sensors around the chamber. If anyone else comes down that tunnel, we'll know about it. The dragon's eyes moved from one human to another, watching their efforts to help. It seemed to relax slightly, its massive body settling more comfortably on the crystal platform. The glow of its body strengthened just a little. I think it's feeling better, Sue said, checking her scanner. Its energy readings are stabilizing. Suddenly, one of the eggs pulsed brightly, catching everyone's attention. The dragon's head turned quickly toward it, and a feeling of excitement flowed through their mental connection. Is it hatching? Jin asked, moving closer. Tay checked her scanner. No, not yet. But it's responding to the parent's improved condition. The eggs are connected to the parent's life force somehow. The dragon sent them a new image. The eggs needed both parents to hatch properly. But the other parent was gone, taken by the miners long ago. It's a single parent, Sue said softly. It's been trying to provide enough energy for the eggs by itself. That's why it's so weak, Tay realized. It's been giving its own energy to keep the eggs alive. June felt a deep respect growing for the creature. Despite being wounded and alone, it had fought to protect its children. It had called for help across the stars, not knowing if anyone would answer, or if those who did would be friends or enemies. We need to find a way to help the eggs get the energy they need, June said. If the dragon is the last of its kind, these eggs are the future of the species. The dragon's eyes fixed on June, and a wave of gratitude flowed through their mental connection. It understood what they were trying to do. It trusted them with the most precious thing it had, its children. From the tunnel came the sound of footsteps. Jin raised his weapon, but June held up a hand. It's the second team, he said, checking his communicator. They're here. As the new team of UNSC personnel entered the chamber, their faces showed the same awe that June's team had felt. The dragon watched them cautiously, but when it sensed they were with June, it relaxed again. The future of an entire species now rested in human hands. The question was, would humanity prove worthy of that trust? The second team entered the crystal chamber with wide eyes and open mouths. They carried large cases of equipment and medical supplies. Leading them was Dr. Min Choi, the Dauntless's chief science officer. He stopped in his tracks when he saw the crystal dragon. Incredible, he whispered. Simply incredible. June quickly explained the situation to Dr. Choi and his team. He told them about the dragon's injuries, the stolen eggs, and the Stellar Resources Corporation's illegal mining operation. We need to help the dragon and protect the remaining eggs, June concluded. But we also need to gather evidence against SRC. Dr. Choi nodded, his face serious. Captain Hannah sent us with special equipment. We have better medical tools and stronger scanners. We also brought this. He opened one of the cases to reveal a device June had never seen before. What is it? June asked. A neural translator, Dr. Choi explained. It's experimental technology. It can help us communicate more clearly with the dragon and record its memories as evidence. The dragon watched them with interest as they set up the equipment. Its eyes followed their movements, and occasionally it sent simple images to their minds, mostly feelings of hope mixed with worry. Dr. Choi approached the dragon slowly, holding the neural translator. I need to place this near its head, he told June. Can you ask if that's okay? June looked at the dragon and thought clearly about the device, asking permission through his mind. The dragon seemed to understand. It lowered its massive head to the ground, allowing Dr. Choi to approach. Carefully, Dr. Choi placed the neural translator against the crystal surface of the dragon's head. The device lit up with blue lights that matched the glow of the dragon's body. It's working, Dr. Choi said excitedly. We're getting a much clearer signal now. A holographic display appeared above the translator, showing images from the dragon's memories in much greater detail. Everyone could now see what had happened without needing the mental connection. The images showed the history of the crystal dragons. They had lived on Kepler-22b for thousands of years. They built great cities of living crystal and studied the stars. They had their own science, art, and culture. But when other species began visiting their planet, they retreated underground to avoid conflict. Then came the miners. First just a few, then more and more. The SRC ships arrived 5 years ago and began harvesting the crystal formations, not realizing or not caring that they were actually harvesting dragon eggs in parts of their cities. They've been systematically destroying an entire civilization, Tay said. her voice breaking with emotion. The dragon showed them more recent memories. It had been part of the last group of dragons, only 12 remaining. One by one, the others were captured or killed by the miners. This dragon had managed to save 3 eggs from its own nest, hiding them in this deep chamber while trying to drive the miners away. It's been fighting a one-dragon war against a corporation, Jin said with newfound respect. The neural translator suddenly beeped, and words appeared on the display. Help. Save. Children. Everyone stared in shock. The dragon was not just sending images now, it was trying to communicate with actual words. It's learning our language through the translator, Dr. Choi explained. The device works both ways. More words appeared, last of kind EGGS, future. June stepped forward. We will help you, he said clearly. We will protect your eggs. The dragon's eyes seemed to brighten. Thank you. Dr. Choi turned to his team. Let's get to work. Medical team, focus on healing those wounds. Science team, study the eggs and figure out what they need to hatch properly. As the teams worked, June's communicator activated again. Lieutenant Park, this is Captain Hannah. We have a situation up here. An SRC ship has entered orbit and is demanding to know why we're on their planet. They claim they have exclusive mining rights to Kepler-2-2b. June felt cold fear run through him. Captain, they can't be allowed down here. The dragon and the eggs would be in danger. I know, Hannah replied. I'm stalling them, but they're threatening to call in corporate security forces. We need that evidence as soon as possible. We're gathering it now, June said. The neural translator is recording everything. The dragon's memories are clear. SRC knew they were harvesting sentient life forms. Good. Send what you have as soon as possible. I'll contact UNSC Command for backup, but it will take time for them to respond. After the communication ended, June explained the new problem to the others. The dragon had been listening and understood the danger. New words appeared on the translator. They, come again, destroy all. Not this time, Jin said firmly. This time, you have us. Dr. Choi's medical team had made progress on the dragon's wounds. The largest cracks were sealed, and the blue fluid had stopped leaking. The dragon seemed stronger, its glow brighter. The polymer is working better than expected, Sue reported. It's bonding with the crystal structure and actually helping it regenerate. Meanwhile, Tae and the science team had made a discovery about the eggs. They need a specific frequency of energy to develop properly, Tae explained. Normally, both parents would provide this energy. With only one parent, the eggs aren't getting enough. Can we help somehow? June asked. Tae nodded. We might be able to simulate the missing parent's energy signature using our ship's power cells. It would be like an incubator for the eggs. The dragon sent a new message through the translator. YES. Help. EGGS. Live. Dr. Choi looked at June. We need to make a decision. If we help these eggs hatch, we're taking responsibility for a new species. The UNSC might not approve. And SRC will definitely try to stop us. June looked at the dragon, then at the eggs. This was bigger than following orders or protocol. This was about doing what was right. An entire species was on the brink of extinction because of human greed. They had a chance to make it right. We help them, June said firmly. We protect the dragon and help the eggs hatch. And we make sure SRC pays for what they've done. The others nodded in agreement. Even Jin, who had been the most cautious, stood tall with determination in his eyes. I'll start setting up the energy transfer for the eggs, Tae said. I'll prepare the evidence for Captain Hannah. Dr. Choi added. And I'll secure the tunnel, Jin said. If SRC tries to come down here, they'll have to get through me first. The dragon watched them all, its ancient eyes filled with something that looked very much like hope. Through the translator came a simple message that touched everyone's hearts. Humans, friends, thank you. June placed his hand gently on the dragon's crystal surface. We won't let you down, he promised. Your children will have a future. As the teams worked with renewed purpose, June knew they faced difficult challenges ahead. SRC was powerful, with money and influence throughout the galaxy. The UNSC might not support their actions. They might even face charges for interfering with corporate interests. But looking at the dragon and its precious eggs, June knew they were making the right choice. Some things were more important than rules or careers. Some things were worth fighting for. 3 days passed in the crystal chamber. The dragon grew stronger each day as its wounds healed. The eggs glowed brighter too, thanks to the energy system Tay and her team had built. Using power cells from their ship, they created an artificial energy field that mimicked what two parent dragons would naturally provide. Above ground, the situation had grown tense. The SRC ship remained in orbit, joined now by 2 more corporate vessels. Captain Hannah had called for ONSC reinforcements, but they were still days away. "They're demanding we leave the planet immediately," Hannah told June during their daily communication. "They claim we're trespassing on their mining territory." "Have you sent the evidence to UNSC Command?" June asked. "Yes, and they're taking it seriously. The recordings from the neural translator are clear proof that SRC knew they were destroying sentient life. But corporate lawyers are already fighting back, claiming the crystal dragons aren't truly intelligent." June looked over at the dragon, who was currently helping Dr. Choi map the extensive crystal network throughout the valley. The dragon had learned to use the translator well now, forming complete sentences and even asking questions about human culture and technology. "Anyone who spends 5 minutes with this dragon would know it's intelligent," June said. "It's learning our language, asking about our history, sharing its knowledge with us." "I know," Hannah replied. "But corporate greed has a way of blinding people to the truth. Just keep working down there. The longer we can document the dragon's intelligence, the stronger our case becomes." That evening, as most of the team rested, June sat near the dragon. The massive creature had grown comfortable with the humans now, even showing signs of what June thought might be affection. It would gently nudge team members with its head, or create beautiful light patterns in its crystal body to entertain them. "Why humans help?" the dragon asked through the translator. Its vocabulary was still simple, but growing daily. "Because it's the right thing to do," June answered. "Your species deserves to live. And what SRC did was wrong." "Not all humans like you," the dragon observed. "Some humans take eggs, hurt dragons." "Yes," June admitted sadly. "Some humans only care about money and power. They don't respect other forms of life. But many of us do care. We want to protect species like yours." The dragon was quiet for a moment, its crystal body pulsing with soft light as it thought. "If eggs hatch, baby dragons need home. Safe place. This place not safe now." June hadn't thought that far ahead. The dragon was right. Even if they protected these eggs and helped them hatch, where would the young dragons live? SRC knew about this planet now. They might return with more ships, more weapons. "We'll find a solution," June promised, though he wasn't sure how. The next morning brought exciting news. One of the eggs had started to move, rocking slightly in its crystal nest. The dragon became very alert, hovering near the egg and sending pulses of energy through its body. "It's happening!" Tay called out, gathering everyone around. "The first egg is hatching!" The team watched in amazement as tiny cracks appeared in the egg's surface. The dragon sent gentle nudges of energy toward it, encouraging the baby inside. Slowly, a small crystal head pushed through the shell, followed by delicate wings and a thin tail. The baby dragon was beautiful, smaller than June's arm, but perfectly formed, glowing with bright blue light. It looked around with curious eyes, seeing its parent first. Then the watching humans. "Hello, little one," Sue whispered, tears in her eyes. The parent dragon gently nuzzled its child, and the baby responded with happy pulses of light. Through the translator came the parent's words. "First child. New beginning." The joyful moment was interrupted by Jin rushing into the chamber. "We have trouble," he announced. "SRC has sent shuttles down to the surface. They're landing near the cave entrance." June immediately contacted Captain Hannah. "Captain, SRC is making a move. They've landed on the surface." "I know," Hannah replied, her voice tense. "They stopped asking for permission. They claim they're just inspecting their property. I've sent our security team to intercept them, but we're outnumbered." "One of the eggs just hatched," June told her. "We have a baby dragon now." There was a pause before Hannah spoke again. "That changes things. A newly hatched endangered species gives us more legal protection. I'm sending images to UNSC Command now." Dr. Choi approached June with a worried expression. If Xerxes reaches this chamber, they might try to take the dragons by force. We need a plan. The parent dragon had been listening. Through the translator it said, I know way out. Secret tunnel. Lead to mountains. Another exit? June asked, surprised. Why didn't you tell us before? Not safe before. Need strength to travel. Now stronger? The dragon led them to the far side of the chamber, where it pressed its head against what looked like a solid crystal wall. The wall began to glow and then slowly opened, revealing a narrow tunnel sloping upward. This could be our escape route, Jin said, examining the tunnel. But we can't move all our equipment through here. We take only what we need, June decided. The most important thing is protecting the dragons. As they prepared to leave, the second egg began to move. Another baby was coming. The parent dragon wouldn't leave without all its children, so they would have to wait. June set up a defensive position at the main tunnel entrance while the second egg hatched. Jin and some security team members joined him, ready to hold off the SRC forces if necessary. Through his communicator, June could hear the confrontation happening near the cave entrance. The UNSC security team was arguing with SRC representatives, trying to block their path legally rather than with force. Lieutenant Park, Captain Hannah's voice came through urgently. I have good news. UNSC Command has issued an emergency protection order for the crystal dragons. They're officially recognized as an endangered sentient species. SRC is ordered to cease all operations on Kepler-22b immediately. Will they listen? June asked. They have to. The penalties for violating the order would bankrupt even SRC, and I just received word that a UNSC battleship is entering the system. They'll be here in hours, not days. Relief washed over June. He returned to the chamber to share the news just as the second baby dragon emerged from its egg. Like its sibling, it was small and delicate, but glowing with healthy light. We did it, Tay said, smiling broadly. We saved them. The parent dragon seemed to understand what had happened. Humans protect dragons, it said through the translator. Dragons remember. Friends always. The third egg began to move as the SRC representatives finally retreated from the planet. By the time the UNSC battleship arrived, all three baby dragons had hatched and were exploring their crystal home under their parents' watchful eye. 1 week later, June stood with Captain Hannah at the entrance to the valley. The UNSC had established a permanent research station there with strict rules to protect the dragons and their habitat. SRC was facing serious charges and their mining rights had been permanently revoked. What happens now? June asked, looking out at the beautiful crystal formations glittering in the sunlight. Now we learn, Hannah replied. The dragon has agreed to teach us about its species, its technology, its history. In return, we protect them and help them rebuild. Do you think there might be more dragons out there? Hidden away on other planets? Hannah smiled. The parent thinks so. It says it can sense others very far away. Perhaps one day, when the babies are grown, they'll search for them. As they walked back toward the research station, June felt proud of what they had accomplished. Humanity had been given a choice to destroy or to protect, to take or to give. And they had chosen well. In the crystal chamber below. The parent dragon watched its three children play among the glowing formations. For the first time in years, it felt hope. The humans had answered its cry for help with compassion and courage. Perhaps there was a future for the crystal dragons after all, a future where two intelligent species could learn from each other and grow together among the stars.